Bologna, a city where the earth preserves what time should have erased. Beneath the medieval streets, a rare chemical event has occurred. This is the Green Mummy, a 14th century anomaly. Historical context and dating place this individual in the mid-1300s. Discovered during urban restoration, he was found among hundreds of others. His transformation was not intentional. It was an accident of burial. Groundwater transported copper salts from his shroud pins into his remains. This chemical interaction, known as metallic imbibition, dyed the tissue. The copper acted as a biocide, inhibiting the microbes that cause decay. He lived and died in a century defined by the Black Death. He is a contemporary of the year 1348, a witness to a lost era. The specific anaerobic conditions of the local soil were the catalyst. Metal ions bonded with his tissues, effectively tanning the skin. Physical observation reveals a man who knew a lifetime of heavy labor. His bones are a physical record of the burdens he once carried. Today, he is a cornerstone of the university's anatomical collection. His dental attrition is a direct link to the coarse diet of the 1300s. Scholars study his remains to understand the limits of natural preservation. While the body has shrunken, the external features remain hauntingly clear. Natural fats in the body turn to grave wax, locking the color in place. The local water table provided the moisture necessary for the chemical leaching. Traces of his burial cloth are still visible, fused to his emerald skin. He represents the nameless thousands who built the towers of this city. He has survived 7 centuries of urban change and decay. The proximity to copper is the undeniable cause of his coloration. He serves as a silent professor of both history and taphonomy. The preservation is so absolute that skin pores remain visible to the eye. He is a unique case study in how inorganic metals alter organic fate. He was buried as a mortal, but the earth turned him into a mineral icon. He is the emerald bridge between the Middle Ages and today. The Green Death was a rare intersection of biology and geology. He remains the most studied resident of the Cataneo collection. A simple piece of wire changed his decomposition forever. He is the Emerald Sentinel of Bologna. What secrets were buried with him in the mud of 1350? Next, we deconstruct the exact chemistry of the Green Death. To solve the mystery of the green tint, we must look at the chemistry of the grave. This individual was buried in the heavy alluvial clay of the Po Valley. Usually, moisture is the enemy of preservation. It accelerates the breakdown of tissue. But this specific burial contained a high concentration of copper-based alloys. As these metal objects corroded, they released a steady stream of copper ions. This led to a rare phenomenon, metallic imbibition. The tissue absorbed the metal. Copper is a natural biocide. It creates an environment where bacteria cannot survive. By killing the microbes responsible for rot, the copper fixed the skin in place. This process effectively tanned the skin, much like the production of leather. Combined with this was a process called saponification. In damp, oxygen-free environments, body fats turn into a durable, waxy solid. This grave wax acted as a sealant, trapping the copper pigment inside the tissue. The metal didn't just stay on the surface, it stained the bone itself. This was an accidental preservation. No human hand intended this result. Forensic observation reveals a man who lived a life of constant physical labor. The spine shows Schmorl's nodes, clear markers of chronic heavy lifting. In the 1300s, such wear was typical for porters and manual laborers. Even his clothes were common. Simple linen, now fused to his emerald skin. The alkalinity of the Bologna soil helped stabilize these copper salts over centuries. While the soft tissues have desiccated, the external frame remains remarkably rigid. He belongs to the invisible class, the workers who left no written names. Look at the hands. These are the tools that built the medieval towers. He was found among thousands, yet he is the only one who survived. Why him? It was a perfect storm of burial depth, moisture, and metal. His preservation is a 600-year-old chemical reaction, frozen in time. Modern photogrammetry allows researchers to map his features with extreme precision. This digital double ensures his image is preserved, even as the remains age. These pins were once used to secure the burial shrouds of the poor. A single pin, in the right soil, can dye an entire limb emerald. Researchers use these cases to study the long-term effects of minerals on tissue. He walked the same streets as the first medical students of Europe. Medieval doctors would have been baffled by his metallic appearance. Today, we recognize it as a triumph of mineral chemistry over biological decay. There is a haunting metallic beauty in this accidental mask. He is the Emerald Sentinel of the University of Bologna. He is a bridge between the era of the plague and the era of modern science. Every fold of skin is a record of a life that ended in the 1350s. He wasn't meant to be a spectacle. He was meant to return to the earth. Instead, the earth of Bologna gave him a different kind of immortality. A few grams of alloy changed his fate from dust to emerald. He remains the most studied resident of the Cataneo collection. He is a silent witness to 6 centuries of Bolognese history. In Part 3, we reconstruct the world of the man inside the metal. To know the man, we must look at the marks the world left on him. His teeth are the first chapter. They show extreme attrition. 14th century bread was abrasive, filled with stone dust from the mills. He survived on a diet of pulmentum, a coarse pottage of legumes and rye. This wear, combined with his physical frame, identifies him as a laborer. His spine is the most revealing record. It is physically indented. These nodes occur when the intervertebral discs are forced into the bone. He likely spent his days hauling the materials that built the city's towers. His physique was shaped by endurance and chronic physical strain. He lived in a city that was a constant building site. His status in death was simple. He was buried with copper alloy shroud pins. He wasn't buried in fine silk. He was wrapped in basic, hand-spun linen. His spinal markers suggest he lived with the reality of chronic back pain. He existed in the laboring class during a century of massive economic shift. These are the hands of a worker, not a scholar or an aristocrat. The metal that preserved him came from the very objects that held his burial clothes. Over 6 centuries, that copper became an inseparable part of his remains. In 1348, his world was reshaped by the arrival of the Black Death. He was buried in a simple grave, typical of the era's common cemeteries. His bones show no evidence of the plague, but the plague left few skeletal marks. Whether he died of infection or age, he was a witness to the great mortality. There was no elaborate monument for him, no stone sarcophagus, just a man, a linen wrap, and a few grams of copper. His height and build are consistent with the average laborer of the 1300s. He is the everyman of the Middle Ages. In the 20th century, he was recovered for modern anatomical study. Scientists now use his remains to understand the chemistry of the soil. The copper ions have fixed even the most delicate skin folds of the head. He walked the streets of a Bologna that was already centuries old. The lineage of the city's labor continues, but he is the only one we can still see. He is a product of the water, the metal, and the Bolognese mud. We study these markers today to understand the physical toll of medieval life. The shroud pins and the cloth fused with his skin during the chemical transition. He was a builder of towers, but he likely never saw the view from the top. He spent centuries in the dark before becoming a subject of history. He is the Emerald Sentinel, a worker preserved in metal. His life was common, but his preservation is unique. This tiny artifact is the only reason his face is still with us today. He is the bridge between the grit of the 1300s and the glass of the museum. Next, we analyze the biological price of surviving the Middle Ages. To survive the 14th century was to endure a constant biological assault. Urban life in Bologna was a toxic mix of industry and waste. Open hearths filled the indoor air with a permanent layer of soot. Every breath in a medieval workshop or home carried particulate matter. While we cannot see his lungs, we know the environment he inhaled. The city's famous leather and textile industries were centers of pollution. Runoff from metalworking and tanning seeped into the very wells he drank from. Skeletal evidence from individuals of his class typically suggests a life of strictly seasonal nutrition. His health was tied to the cycle of the harvest and the quality of the soil. The copper ions have frozen his facial structure in a state of mid-decay. He lived in an era before the germ theory of disease was understood. To the doctors of his time, his ailments were a matter of corrupted air. Today, we use his remains to map the long-term impact of urban stress. Even the skin pores are a testament to the power of metallic preservation. His cranial morphology remains clear, providing a snapshot of 14th century ancestry. He likely lived with the chronic respiratory issues of an urban laborer. His physical robustness indicates he remained active until his final years. He is a survivor of a world that was physically demanding and often short. The very metal that might have poisoned his environment preserved his body. He is no longer a man. He is a physical archive of a lost world. He is the Emerald Sentinel, the most permanent citizen of Bologna. His story ends here, but his chemistry remains for the future to study. He rests in a hall dedicated to the study of human diversity and decay. To the thousands who pass by his glass case, he is a curiosity, a green ghost. But to science, he is an essential record of the 14th century environment. Maintaining its preservation requires a strictly controlled climate. Even now, moisture and light must be balanced to prevent the copper from reacting further. He continues the tradition of the University of Bologna, teaching through the body. He is a part of the very lineage that founded modern medicine in the Middle Ages. His preservation was an accident, but his display is a deliberate choice. He is surrounded by others who met similar strange fates in the Italian soil. There is an ethical weight to his presence here. He never asked to be an icon. He is a man stripped of his name, but granted a form of immortality. Every wrinkle is a testament to a life of hard work under the Italian sun. The city he helped build has changed beyond recognition. Yet because of a few grams of copper, he remains a citizen of the present. He is a reminder that the earth is the ultimate chemist. The Green Death was not an end, but a transformation into mineral. He remains the Emerald Sentinel, a worker made of metal and memory. He is as much a part of this city's architecture as the bricks themselves.